Yay.
Oh,
Hi.
yay. Hello and welcome to Smiling Souls. This is Stephanie Keenan Ray and Wendy T. How you doing today, Wendy?
I'm doing so well. How about you?
Pretty good. It's been a fun day so far. So
It has been a fun, weird day.
yeah. Yep. So I am excited for our guest today. She's a good friend. She's a funny person. She's interesting. It's gonna be a good talk.
It's going to be a very good talk, and we're going to pause for a commercial break. Hello, beautiful souls. I am thrilled to share with you today's sponsor of the Smiling Souls podcast, Martha D. Alexander, a spiritual cleanse practitioner, master exorcist, and teacher. Martha's journey with the angelic realm began early in childhood with simple signs and has since blossomed into a deep, meaningful connection that is a partnership in the practice of sacred healing with angels. Over the years, she has developed tools and insights to communicate clearly with angels. Part of Martha's life mission is to share these gifts, helping others to discover how to communicate with their angels and discern the messages they receive. This calling to empower others is at the heart of Martha's Angels GPS course, a journey to unlock divine guidance in your own life. You can check it out for yourself at courageous-heart.com/angels-GPS. So I am so excited to introduce our guest today, Kirsteen Williamson-Guinn. Kirsteen is an experienced senior leader with 15 years at director level in a large corporation. She has a proven track record in delivering commercial growth and cultural transformation across large teams. Kirsteen is founder of Elevate Women and author of Unshakeable Confidence, Your Blueprint. Kirsteen specializes in helping female leaders build unshakable confidence so they can speak up, step up, and stand out in their career. Elevate Women is best known for transforming women's relationships with themselves, enabling them to create the fulfillment and success they crave in their career and their life. With a track record of helping female leaders achieve increased visibility, enhanced leadership skills, and career advancement, Kirsteen brings a wealth of experience in empowering women to excel, especially in male-dominated industries. So, welcome, Kirsteen.
Thank you.
I love watching your reactions as people read it. And everybody does it. You know, we all do it where we're like,
Is it still going?
Yeah, exactly.
Not you, Wendy. Not you, Wendy. It's like, really?
Is she still going?
No, not you. Is that bio still going?
It's a great bio.
I have to ask a question. I've always said Gunn as your last name. Which of us is wrong?
It's Gwyn.
Gwyn. Okay.
I'm
I
right?
apologize. I've always called you the wrong thing.
Oh, Stephanie. People call me all sorts of things.
Right?
Same.
Well, and I'm the same. Keenan Ray. They're like, Ree? How do I say your name? Yeah.
You want to even get started with Tadeuchi?
No.
Please.
Yep. Yeah, we have that early episode where I'm like, how do you say your name? You're like, I don't know, just however you want.
I'm like, I don't freaking care. Just however. Call me Coach Wendy. It works.
Yep. Oh my goodness. So welcome. You are awesome, and I love
She really is.
I love what you do and how you do it. Can you share a little bit about your background and where you come from, what you do, and how you got into it?
Of course. So, like Wendy said in my bio, I have a background in corporate, and I spent 32 years in banking, 14 years as a director. Always led very big teams, and my passion has always been the people element. As much as my objectives may have been very different, my passion is with people. I knew that I wanted to leave my corporate career about 3 years before I did. And then there was a bit of a turning point that kind of sped things up, which was my dad was diagnosed terminally ill and my mum had a dementia diagnosis.
Wow.
So I was watching both of them fade away in very different ways. And it really, I mean, unsurprisingly impacted me. I had a massive job and I was keeping everything together, as we do as women so brilliantly, keeping a lid on everything. But, you know, under the lid, it was a pressure pot. And I was losing myself, losing my confidence, just getting through on wine, coffee, terrible food, not enough sleep. And I was terrified of stopping because I thought if I stop, I might not get back up. Anyway, because I'd been training as a health coach, which was something I was curious about because I loved coaching and I wanted to try something different, I was able to get myself through that tough time. And I ended up creating a program for myself. And who knew I was going to be my own first client? And so that's when I really decided that I wanted to do something different, because the solutions, the very, I mean, I say solutions, but the options for me at work really were get signed off. Didn't want to do that because couldn't see myself being able to go back after that. Or go to the doctor and get prescribed something. Which again, I didn't want to do that. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with either of those things, but for me at that time, I didn't think it was a good thing for me. So I set my business up to help people return to work at the most stressful time. Returning to work after an absence, a long-term absence, is the most stressful time. And I wanted to help people at the most stressful time because that's what I just experienced. And so I set my business up, return to work. But what happened was, over time, I ended up helping people leave.
The universe is great, isn't it?
Which was a bit tricky. So I felt like a bit of a contradiction calling my business Return to Work when actually people connected with themselves, got more confident and decided it wasn't what they wanted, which was essentially what happened to me. So then I rebranded to Elevate Women, and now it's all about building that relationship with yourself so you don't push all the time, which is my whole career, was pushing masculine energy, building that relationship with yourself so you could do whatever you want. So that's it. Long story, kind of long.
No,
That's incredible. And what you said, I wrote this down because it hit. I experienced this. My clients experienced this. You said, I was terrified of stopping because I felt like if I did, I'd never get back up. Right. And that's what we do. We push and we go because we know if we stop, man, that's over. And yet that's when change begins, when you stop and you get to know yourself and you value yourself. So, wow, Kirsteen, that's incredible. So tell us more about, you mentioned in your form, self-concept. I've not heard this before. I know self-worth, self-care, but share more. What is self-concept?
So self-concept is really about how we see ourselves now, how we see our potential, and our self-esteem is part of that. Now, the challenge for us, particularly as women, is that we radically underestimate ourselves. Men underestimate us, no surprise. And worse still, women underestimate women. So we don't just underestimate ourselves, we actually unconsciously, sometimes underestimate each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can do all the great things. Coaching is a wonderful thing, but if we don't work on self-concept, we can only go as far as we think we can.
Yeah.
And you know that your self-concept needs work if you are riddled with self-doubt, if you self-sabotage, if you backslide. It means that the kind of baseline that you have for yourself is low.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the work I do is around self-concept and building that relationship where you actually trust yourself, where you can have this exciting vision for where you want to go, and you can trust that you can deal with whatever comes your way and keep going to get there, because
Mm-hmm.
you actually believe
Mm-hmm.
that's possible for yourself. Does that help?
Oh, that makes total sense, because
Yeah.
when you have that belief in yourself that, okay, whatever gets thrown at me, I've got this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a powerful place to be.
it is. It is. But that takes work,
It
because
does.
It does take work.
often when things go wrong, we as women are more likely to make it mean something about us, our identity,
Right.
rather than our behavior. And, I've been in business for nearly 5 years, and I
Mhm.
caught myself this year making things mean something about me rather than, hang on a minute, you lunatic, you know this stuff. You need a different approach. It's not
Yeah.
Right.
who you are. It's just that there's
Yeah.
something not quite right in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to remember that it's about the behavior, not the person, and the
Mhm.
behavior can change.
Yes.
I love that self-talk. Like, hang on, woman.
Yeah.
Wait. Right. And I catch myself and I'm like, Wendy, come
Mm-hmm.
on. Like, what? No.
Yeah.
So I get it. I
Yeah.
catch myself all the time,
Yeah.
just like you do,
Yes.
Christine.
We're human,
Yeah.
aren't we?
Yeah,
And
of
We're
course.
human.
and we teach what we need to learn the most, which is absolutely true.
Uh-huh.
Me anyway.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. Someone
For
said to
sure.
me, we become coaches to work on our own shit. I'm like, yep, totally.
Yeah.
And while I'm working on my own shit, I'm helping people with theirs. It's
Yeah.
a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we're just a little bit further ahead.
Exactly.
We're still a work in progress.
Mhm.
We
God
are.
knows.
Yeah. 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 I've had Kirsteen work with like my leadership team when I was leading the chapter in Worcester, and I've been on a couple calls where you've worked through the basic, like starting to identify those self-concept issues and things. And it's fascinating. And then, being in your Facebook group or your LinkedIn, like listening to your little videos, it's always so insightful, the things that you share and how to
Thank
think
you.
about each, how we look at the world, right? And how we go about in it. Like for myself, it's funny, the funniest little things, like just within my home life, like every so often Joe will get on these like cleaning sprees where he'll like literally scrub the kitchen sink, and he's doing like all these crazy things. And it's like he just can't sit still. But sometimes I internalize it as, I apparently don't clean the house well enough, so he's doing it better than me. You know what I mean? Like, and then like I have to literally stop myself and be like,
That's so
"Stop
funny.
it, woman! Like, what are you doing? Like, no, he's just doing it, and he's helping you stop getting mad and thinking that you're bad." It's
Oh
just
no.
amazing how
It-
our brains work, though. Sometimes,
yeah.
Goes right to the negative, right?
yeah.
Mine works totally the opposite of yours. If I do a bad enough
You're
job,
like, thank God John's cleaning the
John
house.
will.
I
I
was
know
gonna
he does a
say,
much better job than me at any of it, and
Yeah.
I'm so good with that. So good.
See, when I try to do it that way, it doesn't get done. Like I've gone on strike before, and it's been weeks, and like dog dust balls float through the
Oh.
house, and like I have to continually walk over the toys.
Oh,
that
there
they're,
are certain things.
yeah. And so eventually I just have to be like, fine, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
So yeah, I can't do the like
Huh.
planned, like he'll clean the bathroom if I just don't clean it for a month. No.
No.
He's got to get in that energy. Well, if you can
Mhm.
ask Joe to let me know what I can do to light a fire under Steve so that he cleans, just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kirsteen, you mentioned LinkedIn, and
Yeah.
I have to share this with you. So I'm pretty sure it was beginning of this year, was in a diamond mastermind.
Yeah,
with you.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember this? And you were talking about
Yes.
LinkedIn, and you're like, track these things and you can reach out.
Yeah, and then like we like went with her for like a couple weeks, and it was
Oh
so
my
good, and I was like,
gosh.
holy crap, I learned so much.
Like, I've got a notebook. I kept tracking. My numbers kept going up and up and up. But here's the cool thing that happened, Kirsteen. One of the people that I connected with, Steph, no, hang on. You met him, Peter Gordon.
Peter.
Yeah. The reason we know Peter Gordon is because of you. Now, why is this important? Peter, first of all, is a nice guy. He's the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet in the world. And he's always helping me out. He's always, he's helped Steph out. He was willing to be one of the guests on a summit that I'm launching in the spring. He is part of a group networking that it's invite only. He invited me.
Oh, brilliant.
He invited me, and I'm part of this
Fantastic.
community. Steph was,
And then you did his podcast, and then you suggested me as a guest on the podcast. And
Fantastic.
now he's a doTERRA client of mine.
exactly. Kirsteen,
This is how it works.
this is
Yeah.
all because of you. And you said something, I don't know if it's the same meeting or not. It might have been a different one, but you were like, I post my fees on the website. And I heard that and I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. This is my
Mhm.
value. This is what, and I did it. Right.
Mhm.
And that made me a more confident coach, a more confident woman. So like, just, the people that you hang around with, by the way, for listeners or viewers, watch who you hang around with. And if the people that you're hanging around with elevate you, like Kirsteen does, awesome. If they're not, maybe rethink that. Just
Definitely.
100%.
Very true. Oh, well, I'm very happy about that. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for telling me.
It was awesome. It was so awesome. You're awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Kirsteen, you mentioned one of your biggest inspirations was Claire, is it Zammit?
Oh, yes. Mhm.
Claire Zammit's feminine power principles. Speaking of feminine power and confidence. So what about her? What about the feminine power principles? What's been the biggest inspiration for you with this?
So I found feminine power as I'd left my job. I'd already created a program.
Mm-hmm.
I found Claire Zammit and feminine power by accident, as these things often happen. And I started with a very quick 8-week program, I think. There were so many shifts for my thinking, for the way that I behaved in there, that it then got me hooked, and I ended up spending 2 years on mastery of feminine power principles, and then also doing my certification as a woman-centered coach.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really difficult to explain. She spent years doing a PhD on women and how we block ourselves.
Oh, wow.
And just about everything I read, everything I heard resonated massively. So, for example, and this is something that I do with my clients a lot. So 3 ways that even the most successful women block themselves. And this was a study with thousands of successful women, entrepreneurs and professional corporate women. We repeat old habits, stories, and behaviors. Tick.
Mm-hmm.
We disconnect from ourselves and a higher level of whatever we believe in.
Right.
Tick. So disconnected. I mean, if you wanted to see someone disconnected, all you needed to do is look at me about 7 years ago. You know, when I said I didn't want to stop, I didn't want to know how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even tell you what I was thinking,
Right.
which was embarrassing at times because people would ask and I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the third one is isolation, and this idea that we have to do it all ourselves, and being, sorry about my dogs,
Okay.
and this idea that if we ask for help, then we're viewed as weak, incapable. And so, you know, how many times have I thought I need to be strong, I need to get through this, I need to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to look at these things and unpack how it's impacted, you know, that's why I think I really dug into her work, because these things make such a difference. Once you can actually see what you're doing and, you know, the story you're telling yourself,
Mm-hmm.
the patterns that I kept repeating over and over again, and expecting a different outcome. So I would encourage you to have a look at her work, because she's a smart. She has done a lot of research with thousands of people, like I said, and it resonated.
That's awesome.
That hits.
Mm-hmm.
You said I didn't know myself. I couldn't answer questions. I was so removed. That was me probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was so in it with my mom. That's when I first started taking care of her. And I just push.
Yeah.
And now looking back, and my mantra, one of my mantras is just let it be easy.
Yeah.
Just let it be easy. And it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a while to get from there to here. And it was just noticing what I kept saying to myself. It was working with a very powerful coach who put those two together and was like trying to get me to form new connections. Right. So yeah, totally understand.
I think the biggest thing, and I still struggle with this a bit, is being able to get out of my head and into my body, and let myself just feel.
Just feel it.
And I think, you know, that can feel really hard. And I work with women that really struggle to do that too, because we're going at 150 miles an hour. Our attention is on everybody else. You know, when's the last time we ask ourselves how we're feeling, what we're feeling, what do we need? No, because we're asking everybody else, and we're working to everybody else's stuff rather than our own.
So it's really hard to, what do you mean? Who, what? It's like we're encased in this huge piece of ice, and we have to start chipping away before we can answer that question.
That's exactly how I felt. Yeah. What's underneath?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But isn't it gorgeous what's underneath? Isn't it gorgeous?
It's scary though. It's really scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
and
it was for me.
Yeah. Keep going. Keep going with that, Kirsteen.
What the how?
Yeah, because I feel like I interrupted you.
No, you didn't at all. But it was when you have behaved in a certain way, automatically on autopilot for so long. The thought of slowing down and doing something different is terrifying, because I associated all of my success, and on the outside everything looks successful.
Mm-hmm.
I associated all of my success with that behavior.
I see.
And so if you start to do something different, what will that look like? What am I going to lose
Yeah.
by not being that
Right.
way? And, you know, that's the concern.
Yeah.
And I might not like what I feel if I feel it. Well, I knew
It's
I
that-
wouldn't.
Yeah, the fear of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone who has always been a control freak, watching
Right? Yeah.
watching what was going on with my parents, I had zero control
Mm-hmm.
over
Yeah.
you know, what was happening to their health. Obviously, there were things within my control
Right.
around the time I spent with them and the support and care that they had,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't change
Yeah.
what was happening. And that felt horrendous because I'd never had that feeling before. But interestingly, what I've learned since that really struck a chord is that when you think about control,
Mm-hmm.
for women, it's more often associated with freedom.
Mm.
Yet with men, it's more often associated with power.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I always wanted autonomy.
Mhm.
So if someone tells me what to do, I am your worst nightmare ever.
Right.
And so if someone tries to have power over me,
Right.
oh no. So it's just interesting, isn't it, as you start to look at some of these things and you see the responses you have. But actually, it wasn't about me being fully in control of others. It was about me having freedom to be able to do what I wanted to do.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
That's
interesting, isn't
huge.
it? When you,
Yeah,
when you think about it.
it really is.
I used to say I'm a self-confessed recovering control freak, but actually I'm not. I want freedom and I'm not afraid to say that.
Mm-hmm. So when you were shifting through this, you know, when you were working on yourself and then developing your business and growing and thriving, what did John see?
Oh.
Oh, so me and John go back a long way. I've been with John since I was 16.
Mm.
And he's always been a massive support to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he really saw the mess, the
Right.
full mess,
Yeah.
because I had a lid on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably, I mean, he saw bits of it. He saw it at there are always points where people fall apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he saw bits of that.
Yeah.
But he saw someone go to work very early every morning, come home very late at night, who was tired.
Mm-hmm.
Bit
Cranky.
yeah. So I don't think he really, even now, knew what was going on internally for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What he sees now is someone who I don't have my shit together. Am I allowed to say that?
Oh yeah.
I don't ever think that I have it all together. I don't think he would see that. But what he sees now is the real me that maybe he didn't see before, and he hasn't left. And
So there you go. Bottom line, he hasn't left.
He hasn't left.
Yeah.
He's still sticking around.
He's still here. But what was interesting was when I left my job, I was hardly home.
Yeah.
When I was working.
Uh-huh.
And suddenly we're both under the same roof all day, every day. And we were both thinking, this could be interesting. And it's been good. I love having lunch with him every day. It's our thing.
Yeah.
like, it's really nice. He's upstairs. He's got an office upstairs. Mine's downstairs.
Right.
We sit down at lunch. I don't
Yeah.
see him much unless I need to shout at him about something. For the rest, for the rest of the day. But
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's really nice. Whereas I left him at like 6 a.m. and would come home 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
with not much left in the tank.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what he sees now is the real me, whether, you know, the
Yeah.
mess, the whole lot.
Right.
Mm.
But it's probably made you guys a little stronger too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's a good question, Stephanie Keenan Ray, because I hadn't thought of it.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad.
And speaking of freedom, that freedom that you now have to be yourself 100% in front of John, that's got to be really nice.
Yeah. Oh, I do feel like I am myself,
Mm-hmm.
probably, and I'm 54, so, you know, it only took 49 years.
Mm.
Well, maybe more, because
Yeah.
it happened straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Wow.
interesting, isn't it?
It always is.
Yeah.
It always is. And tagline,
Absolutely.
he hasn't left yet.
He hasn't
He
left yet.
hasn't left yet.
We've got all these funny taglines, so that's going to be one of them.
Yeah.
So Kirsteen, so we talked about Claire Zammit and the power of feminine power principles, and you actually have more resources that you're recommending to our listeners, to our viewers. You mentioned the 4 agreements and a happy pocketful of money.
Yeah.
So tell us more about why you're recommending those resources.
The 4 agreements
Yeah.
is, I don't know if you've come across the 4 agreements.
I've heard of them. I
Mhm.
have not read them yet.
It's such a great little book
Yeah.
that you can even get a pocket-sized book, which I sometimes get for my clients. So it's about being impeccable with your word. That includes how you talk to yourself, which is why it's one of my favorites. Don't take anything personally. Always do your best. And now I've forgotten the 4th one. My brain's gone blank.
I'm glad that happens to you too. It happens to me.
It happens to me all the time. I should have got the book ready. But
No
there
worries.
are 4 very simple things like that that you can kind of remind yourself that. So for me, being impeccable with my word, when I catch myself, you know, giving myself a hard time, I remember that. Always doing my best is, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. If I'm on a podcast and I forget the 4th thing,
It's all good.
I've done my best. Get the book, you'll find the 4th one, and it might come to me before the end of this.
You'll be like, that's it.
Yeah. So that's a really great little. It's like just to keep those things in your mind. The other one is the Happy Pocket Full of Money. Now, this is a really interesting book that my first coach bought me.
Really?
And actually, Mindy did it in a book club, I think.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it. Okay.
It's quantum physics. The first chapter is enough to make you never want to pick it up again, if you're anything like me.
Really?
However,
I hated it.
Yeah. Well, the whole book.
I mean, I probably need to go back, but at the time when we were reading it with Mindy, I struggled immensely with that book. But I understood the concept. I just struggled, I think, mainly with the way he wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a very good concept. Go on. I apologize.
The reason that I like it is because I have highlighted so many things in it. So chapter 1 I skipped. I can't be doing with all that. But there are bits in it that I will just pick my book up,
Right.
Yeah.
read a sentence,
Mhm.
and it's kind of a reset.
Yeah.
And I remember this is a really good book if you have a bit of a scarcity mindset, which
Yeah.
I absolutely had a scarcity mindset.
Mhm.
My whole time in corporate, when I had ridiculous salaries and never had enough money, never had enough time, never had enough whatever. And so this was part of me getting out of that, because obviously as an entrepreneur, when you start with nothing, it's very easy to be in scarcity, which is not great energy when you're working with clients.
Right.
So it helped me a lot with that.
Yeah.
And I remember buying it for a client of mine who had been trying to get a job for a long time before he started working with me. And he was absolutely in lack. And this book changed his life. I mean, he said it, not me.
Oh, wow.
Because he was living by it. And by the end of our 12 weeks together, he'd got himself a new job.
Wow. That's
Which,
awesome.
it flicks a few switches that might need switching in your mind.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Flipping that switch and
Yeah.
that's why.
So sometimes when I'm feeling a little bit like there's not enough of something, I'll just pick the book up, open it up, something's highlighted, read it, and remind myself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have to, right? I'm constantly reminding myself too, right? Like, oh, okay. So my book around money is Success Principles. No, Sacred Success. Barbara Stanny. Oh my, she really dives deep into the divine as it relates to, your feelings about scarcity, abundance, and how to get into that abundance. And one of my coaches, oh my God, I was in scarcity, I was in lack, and she said to me flat out, Wendy, I can feel your energy around this. When you're having a discovery call with someone, that person can feel it, and it is not good. You're repelling me. And I went, oh. However, I needed to hear that. It was not comfortable. It was awful. It made me but it made me pay attention. And it wasn't immediate, but after some time, I was like, she's right. And that is the beginning of, right, just acknowledging and then taking that next step. But I love these book recommendations and knowing that, being aware you're in scarcity so you can do something differently.
Yeah. I got a feeling the other principle is about assumptions. But it's going to bug the hell out of me now. I'm gonna send you them in case you need to put them in there. It's really gonna
bug the hell out of me. Well, let me ask you this. There is a very special book that I would love for you to talk about, Kirsteen. And it's your book. Would you talk to us about that and share?
I'd love to talk to you about my book. So I wrote this because I wanted people to be able to access some of the things that I've learned for themselves if they couldn't access me and my 12-week program. So I've wanted to write this book for ages. It's a very light version of what I do, but there are resources on the website that will help people start to make some shifts. So the book is Unshakeable Confidence, Your Blueprint. And it's basically my spirit method, which is all about reconnecting with your true spirit. So you've got your unshakable confidence. So spirit is, S is strengthen your self-concept. P is around priorities. So creating that compelling vision and creating your future rather than somebody else's, which is my whole story. Integrating relaxation and self-care. I realized that there is a correlation between self-care and self-confidence.
Right.
And I remember people saying things like cool as a cucumber when I was growing up, but I didn't really associate being calm with being confident, weirdly.
Mm.
But it's a massive,
Mhm.
calm
Right.
and clarity are
Right.
big confidence builders.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
often we get confused with what is it that we're feeling.
Right.
It might not be a lack of confidence, it might be a lack of clarity. Anyway, R is for releasing limiting beliefs. We know that we've got these beliefs that have been knocking about for many, many years. And if we don't start to challenge some of them, we end up reinforcing them, carrying them around, and they
Right.
really impact our self-concept, like I talked about, and how we think we can do in the world. So we release those, we ignite our full potential and our power by
Mhm.
by breaking through inner barriers. So those things I talked about, the old stories, the disconnection, the isolation, we start to break through those. And then the T is thriving in alignment. So we make sure that we are believing our thoughts, our behaviors, and our habits are aligned with where we want to go. And that's my spirit method.
Wow.
I
And
think
where can someone find this book?
on Amazon.
Beautiful. I love it. So Steph will put the link for the book in.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
And then where can someone find you? Your website, LinkedIn?
Yep. So website is elevatewomen.co.uk. The little hyphen between elevate and women.
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn, Kirsteen Williamson-Guinn.
Mhm.
Oh, I mean, I think there's only one of me on LinkedIn. So you should be okay because it's
Yeah.
a ridiculous name.
It's- Come on. Mine? Girl.
So that's it. I mean, that's basically where I am.
Wow.
Fabulous.
That's quite a journey.
Mhm.
Mm.
And I love it. Um,
Yeah.
Steph, you know what we forgot to do?
What?
Oh,
Oh,
Pam,
that's
did you
okay.
get-
You want to do it backwards?
I've
If
got
you
my
want.
glasses on ready.
Kirstein's ready.
I don't
I'm
know where my
here.
cards went.
I was like, I feel like we're forgetting something because we usually do this, Kirsteen, at the beginning. And I'm like, oh, balls. We forgot this.
Oh, ball.
Oh, balls. So I'll share mine. I pulled Animal Guardian.
Oh, I'm a
Trust-
vegan.
Trust your
I've said that
instincts.
already.
Jeez. I know it was funny. I was gonna get into the whole vegan you vegan thing because you fascinate me with your veganism.
Wait, well, I didn't know you were vegan.
How do you know
Oh,
someone's a vegan? They'll tell you. I
They'll tell you.
But that I only said it because Animal Guardian.
mhm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
True mission in life.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. We'll have to have you back and talk about that.
Right?
Oh, yes, I would love to talk about that.
Mm.
How to
And-
lose lots of viewers, listeners.
Right.
So, Steph, you want to share your card, and then we'll see what Kirsteen has drawn.
So mine was the creative writing. So making time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen an article or book. So taking that time, and it was Archangel Gabriel. So
Yeah.
he'll guide you and help
Yeah.
you with that. So love that because kind of goes along with what we're talking about, that self-care and
Totally.
oftentimes we need to sit down and write and work out those ideas, work out those thoughts. Actually, when we were talking books, I love the book that you gave me, the
Coffee
Self-Talk. Yes,
That's a great book, isn't it?
because it's like just I sometimes am terrible at writing in a journal, but you sit with your cup of coffee and kind of work those thoughts out just out into the ethers, into your coffee cup, and think the positive things. And
Yeah, I love that book.
I love it. Love it.
Or you could have a journal with journaling prompts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Steph will put that in the link.
Yes.
Oh, is that your book, Wendy?
Yeah, it's coming out on Amazon very soon.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, it's all about setting yourself up for peace of mind.
Nice.
And so there are very targeted journaling prompts, like talking about guilt, talking about your worth, your value, self-care, all the things.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent. Kirsteen,
It's all good.
share your card, girl.
What am I doing?
Do you have a card?
Oh, I thought you had a card.
Oh, I've got loads of cards. I thought you were picking me a card. Hold on.
We probably should fix that in the form. I don't know.
Right. This
is the chaos that happens on our show.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Archangel Animal.
I haven't picked one of these for a while, so sorry, I didn't realize I thought Animal Guardian and they were mine.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I mean,
She is an animal guardian. She'll have to tell you about her tattoo later.
Oh, monkey.
Monkey.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So this says,
Yeah.
experience all that life has to offer. And I've had this one before. I like it. So I'm happy to have it again. Means I need to pay attention, doesn't it?
Right.
I'm not going to read the whole thing. But focus on developing your right brain and your heart, as this is the route to ascension and oneness. Take time out to relax, have fun, and just be. Enjoy your senses. I mean,
Exactly.
Well, that means on the 23rd you have to be on my creative session.
oh yeah,
Because
Yes, girl.
on the
you
23rd.
haven't been on in a while.
You know why?
Because you've been fucking busy.
I've been with clients.
Exactly, I know.
She's been fucking
But
busy.
I think
It's a good thing to be
I
busy.
think the 23rd I might be able to,
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't. My niece is in a show. I'm
Oh,
away.
Oh.
that's okay.
That's what I drew on the last one. Isn't that pretty?
I love
It's
it.
her cute Christmas tree.
I love it. And you are very talented. I have a colouring book.
Your coloring book rocks.
Well, I've done other colouring things just because I
That's
haven't
good.
been on your thing.
I know. I'm just encouraging you.
I want to go. I will. Actually, it's the 24th. I'm with Olivia. I should definitely get the day right.
Come on the 23rd.
Yeah, Olivia's gonna be like, "Where are you, Auntie?"
I was there yesterday. Does that not count? I might be able to do the 23rd.
Yay! Cool.
Nice.
I love it.
I do too. All right. So, Steph, what else you want to do?
I want Kirsteen to tell you about her tattoo.
Oh, the fourth agreement is don't assume. I know it.
Yes, and yeah, I looked it up real fast. And always do your best.
That's
Yeah.
it. I got
She said that.
Yeah.
Right, my tattoo.
What does that say?
269. I can't show you.
She can't do it upside down, but
I can't
it's
do
the
it.
number's 269.
Number 269. It is a symbol of veganism.
Really?
Yes. So the story is, well, it's not. It's true. There was a calf in Israel that was rescued from slaughter, and the animal rights activists branded themselves with that calf's number, like we brand
The cows.
calf. So they had big 269s branded up their arms. Now, I wasn't up for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might hurt. So I had I had my
might hurt.
But you know what? I was so this is a different story. I stood as a candidate for the European elections or the Animal Welfare Party.
Oh, cool.
I represented the UK at international political parties for animals conferences. And when I went to these different places, so Serbia and Albania, there were people with 269 on their wrists like me.
That's so cool.
And it just made me so happy.
That's awesome.
Like I found my people.
Yeah. And she's just innately a vegetarian. You know, like she loves the animal so
Vegan.
much. Vegan. I'm sorry, vegan. Full on
I'm
vegan.
a vegan.
Dedicated.
So,
But
Well-
you know, like as a child, basically growing up in Scotland, you know, tells her mom and dad, like,
Really?
yeah,
I was 10 when I stopped eating meat. But yeah, I've always been with the animals. If you couldn't find me as a kid, I was
yep,
with the animals somewhere. They're my friends. I can't eat them. I can't be part of
Right.
anything that hurts them in any
Mhm.
way. We don't need to. I care about the planet. I don't have kids, but I'd quite like there to be a planet with resources.
Right.
It's all unnecessary. It makes me cross, upset, all the things.
Mhm.
So for me, I want to do as little harm as I can.
yeah,
I'm not perfect, as all of the anti-vegan people will find something that I don't do,
yeah.
but I do my best. Stephanie knows I don't have anything tested on animals, anything with animal ingredients in my house.
Right.
Breathe.
I love it though because it, like, learning your story and your dedication to it has, you know, inspired me in certain ways. It's like I know myself, like my body actually, I know you'll tell me that I don't need meat, but like my body gets weird after 3 days without meat. Like, yeah, like I can go a couple days. I can go a couple days. So I try to do a little, like, finding my proteins elsewhere, right? But I find that I'm not at my best, and I do kind of believe in the whole, like, there's theories of like your blood type and what kind of eating style, you know, you need. Personally, I'm more like a fish. Like if I could have fish every day, that would be my meat of choice. But
My mum and dad, especially my mum, used to have so much fish. And when I think about dementia, I mean, this is
yes,
off
all
track
the
totally,
mercury. Yeah.
but I can't, because my mum was the healthiest little thing you would ever see. I mean, she didn't carry any extra weight, she didn't drink, she didn't smoke. Her body was her temple, but fish,
Yeah, fish.
I mean, my God. I used
Right.
to say they're depleting the oceans themselves.
Yeah.
I know they say dementia comes from trauma. Some of the studies say,
Sometimes
but also
the
food.
What we
yep,
eat.
mercury, and they say fluoride's a big influence, and the
Oh,
antiperspirants, and
yeah. So
Right.
I don't do any of that.
yep,
Because
exactly,
all of that's tested anyway. I mean,
exactly.
on animals, why do we need to do that?
Mm-hmm.
We
But
don't.
Exactly.
now you've got me started, haven't you? You should.
I have. I'm sorry. I opened the Pandora's.
We've gotta have you back, Kirsteen. And let me just say, this vegan thing, just you're glowing. So
Aw.
it's working for you. Your skin is just gorgeous.
Well,
And
that's
I just love
Stephanie gives me lovely potions.
lovely potions. I just love the image of little Kirsteen loving on the animals as a small
I
child.
feel like I need to see a picture of little Kirsteen with a pet.
Oh, I did a LinkedIn post with me and my first pet, my guinea pig,
Oh,
George. And
George.
I'd been told off. I was sat on the naughty step and went to find my guinea pig. But
What?
yeah. My granddad was a pig farmer and he could not understand how I wouldn't eat meat. He could not get his head around it. But this is the person that brought in a little piglet that was a runt, kept it in a shoebox in front of the fire, eventually had to take it to market and didn't eat pig for months after. Because he was so attached to Jet, who used to run to the garden gate when he came home. Pigs are very clever. They're more clever than my dogs. I mean, my dogs don't have a brain cell between them on a good day.
Your dogs are hilarious. I love your dog.
Pigs are really, they're really
They
clever.
are. They are very clever.
Anyway, see, you've done it.
I've done it. Stop.
We could start talking about animals right now. I got lots to say about birds. Just, yeah, I'm becoming a birder in my old age.
Love it. Love listening to the birds.
Yeah.
Right? It's so interesting. Do you know about the app? Just real quick. Cornell
Oh.
Labs has an app. It's free. Merlin Bird ID.
Oh, I've heard of it. I don't have it.
It's so cool. So when
You
you're out and
can tell what
about,
the
you just
birds are.
click sound and
Yeah.
it
I
will
should
tell you
definitely.
what bird is warbling in the background. It's so cool.
I love
That's
listening.
so
to the
cool.
bird. We've got a bird. All right, quick, very quick. I was walking the dogs one morning,
Yeah.
and I thought it was an alarm going off. You know the noise.
Oh,
That
right.
Yeah.
this bird has mimicked
Yeah.
the
an
alarm.
They're very smart.
It was like it was intermittent. So I came home and said to John, "That wasn't an alarm. That's a bird." And he said, "I know. I've heard it." How smart are birds?
They're
Right?
very, very
They
smart.
should not be caged.
They should.
No.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of people who keep birds in their houses. Like
I love
Yeah,
birds.
don't imply.
they should be outside. Yeah.
Anyway, God, where did we get?
We
to?
went cuckoo, but that's what we do here.
That's what we do.
We love to take
Happened somewhere about 10 minutes ago.
right.
Oh my gosh.
But I
Well,
love that.
Yeah. We'll have to have another call, have to have another episode where we talk about veganism and birds. And
We'll get her
animals.
all riled. It'll be
There we
fantastic.
go.
I think that we're gonna have to do that.
You know what'll happen? I'll just be sat here and you two will have your cameras off.
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, you
Wendy's
don't have
like, that sounds divine. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just like, okay, you don't have a podcast, Kirsteen. Maybe you should.
Do you know what? I want to have a podcast called Animal Allies.
Nice.
And I want to interview
Yes.
people who are doing amazing things for animals. That
would be
That would be
awesome.
amazing.
You
Do it.
definitely should.
I want to do it because there's
Do
so much horror, and I tend to see all the horror. But there's so many amazing people doing truly
Great
amazing.
things.
Right. And we need more of that.
We do, and I'd love to interview people about things like that. And so many
That's great.
countries are doing amazing things.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so interesting.
I would love
Do
to
it.
do it. It's
Do
you
it.
know, it's just time and priority stuff.
Oh, we get that.
Yeah.
But I would love to.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being a guest, and
you so
it's
much.
been a fun time. Awesome. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.